Hey dudes, if you'd one day like to start a podcast and say unhinged stuff like we do, check out Zencastr.
Zencastr is an all-in-one podcast production suite that gives you studio quality audio and video without needing to know all the technical stuff.
Zencastr records each guest locally, then uploads the crystal clear audio and video right into the suite so you have high quality raw materials to work with.
And we love a secured cloud backup because that means you'll never lose your interviews, hot takes, or off-the-cuff fart and dick jokes.
Zencastr is super easy to use with guests too. There's nothing for your guests to download. You just send them a link and they click on it and they join the recording session.
Go to zen.ai/DTFU podcast and you'll get 30% off your first 3 months when you sign up for a pro account.
That's zen.ai/DTFU podcast for 30% off the first 3 months of your Zencastr Pro account.
Seriously, we started a podcast. You can and should absolutely do it too with Zencastr.
Do it. What's up, everybody? It's Erin.
And Nicole. This is Dude That's Fucked Up, the podcast.
How you doing?
How you doing, everyone? Is everybody doing good? I am.
Yeah, you sound great. Oh my God.
I'm so excited for today.
You look beautiful.
Oh,
you sound good. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm so excited for this episode.
Oh my God. It was so it's so dumb. I'll tell you a joke I made to Pete earlier because I'm just like in that mood, you know?
Mm-hmm. And it's so silly.
Yeah. If people don't like our jokes, they're going to hate this episode. But then why would they listen at all?
I don't know. Well, maybe it's like your first episode and you're just like, what have I gotten myself into?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
TBD.
Well, do we have any business before we get into the episode?
No, I will say, I know we've been talking about like, we're going to do merch, and we've been talking about it, but we are going to do merch. We got some samples. We're going to look at them tomorrow. We're going to decide if we like them, you know, yada, yada. So we will have some stuff coming soon, and it's going to be very cool, I think. From what I've seen, it's going to be very cool.
Yeah. And we're just like, want to have all the peeps out there repping our stuff. So
yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's going to be soon, so we'll keep you posted. But
even if you just like our logo.
I love our logo. I would just like, if I didn't know what it was, I would just wear it. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah. It's like, oh, this is cool. And then you're like, oh, this is what it's for. Oh, let me check it out. And then you're like, oh, I don't like it. But I still like the logo.
Yeah. They say butthole way too much.
They're obsessed. These women are obsessed with their buttholes.
Bitch, what do you think that rosebud is on there for? You know, rosebud is another name for butthole, right?
It is, yeah.
Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
That's a BHE, butthole euphemism. Baby!
That's right. Yeah, so anyway, we got that coming for you. We'll keep you posted on that. And yeah, anything fucked up for you this week?
No, I can just tell you. Oh, yeah, actually, there was something fucked up. I went to see a show on Tuesday night. It was a Boulay Brothers Dragula like live show.
Amazing.
So fun at the Novo Theater.
Oh, where's that?
It's like near what used to be the Staples Center, and it is now some fucking crypto bullshit.
Yeah, Bitcoin fucking
asshole,
yeah.
Dick face, shithead.
Shitcoin. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's like the fucking. Well, I want to say cryptology arena. That's way cooler. The cryptocurrency arena.
Yeah.
Or some shit like that. It's so fucking. We're in Idiocracy. We've arrived. In case anyone was wondering, if we were there yet, we are. Anyway, do better, Nicole.
It's all right. It's fair. Bitch.
Anyway, so, okay, we went to the show. The theater is great, P.S. Like, it's small and cool, and we had seats upstairs. There's, like, a pit in the bottom with no seats for standing room, and then there's, like, seats up above. And we got seats because I was like, I'm not going to this thing with no seat. And and it was like a kind of a VIP area, but not really. It just was like less crowded, and there was a bar, and I had a delicious cocktail, like a tequila mule type situation. So it was kind of like a ginger margarita. It was so good.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And we sat, and it was so fun, and it was like so cool and weird, and all the people were dressed so cool in the audience. Like everybody was just cool, and I was like vibing. And then we got home, and I got this like insane headache,
Oh no.
like a migraine. Like I couldn't even. I was so tired, and I think what happened is that I also had therapy that day, which I think is part of it. But so many emotions and so much excitement that I'm not used to and haven't experienced, and all my muscles were like really tense in like
Clenched.
my neck and my face.
Yeah.
And I was screaming, and I was like, yeah, you know, like cheering for the queens and everything. And I think I gave myself like some sort of tension headache migraine thing. And
man.
I took some Advil and went to bed, but I was like nauseous. I was like, Pete was like talking to me. I'm like, I can't talk. And
oh no.
I just need like darkness. And like this was already after we were home too. So it like set in right before I went to bed. And then the next morning I Googled it, and sure enough, you can do that. It's a thing.
That sucks.
It's just like another thing to worry about as we come back into like doing social activities, you know?
Yep. Your body and your mind are just like not used to it yet. And it's just like,
they're not communicating. They are not on the same page. My mind is like, yay, excitement. And my body's like, what? No, go back home. Get back in bed. Why are you wearing hard pants?
Are you wearing hard pants? I know. I feel like, you know, you do need to work up to it, but it's like, what's the, you know, how do you do it? I feel like you have to be consistently, you know, doing stuff in order to get to that place. But if you're just doing stuff like every now and then, that's like, you know, regular stuff on the weekends again. Yeah. Doing something big like that where you're like going out, driving to a place, or like getting in an Uber to drive like 30 minutes to, you know, 45 minutes to a venue. And then, you know, just like all these things that we used to take for granted. And now it's like a whole production. And if you're not doing those things consistently, then it's like overwhelming, and all your senses are like, blah. Yeah, it was wild. Yeah. Whew. Anywho, but it was a very fun show. If you haven't watched Dragula on Netflix or on Shudder, it's kind of in multiple places depending on like how new the season is. But gotcha. It's such a fun show. It's like a goth drag race situation, way lower budget, but I like that about it. It felt kind of like a little bit like a sketch show or something, because a lot of the performances are really funny and weird. Yeah. Which is very like my sketch writing and some of the stuff I would do. And so I just had too much fun, and it hurt my brain. Fair. Yeah. Aww. Anywho, do you have anything fucked up this week? You know, only that we are losing our freedom as women every single day, a little bit more, just a little bit. And, you know, I wanted to just say, if you feel helpless, like, I totally feel that. I don't like, I want to say like donate and, you know, protest and all that stuff, but like it's exhausting. So do what you can. I donated to the abortionfunds.org. Like they split your donation between like entire network of abortion funds like nationwide. So there's prioritizing money to the states where it's already like there's already abortion bans in place, like Texas and shit. Yeah, and like if Roe v. Wade gets overturned, which it looks like it most likely will, there's states that have like there's like trigger laws in effect that like once it's banned nationally, it'll just be like it'll like go back to like 1950, you know, like it's in some states, not all states. Right. Like, and then so in some states like California are instituting more protections for women, but like, because it'll be like on a state by state basis, like there's some states that need more, you know, access to, and not just, you know, obviously there's not going to be any abortion allowed in certain states. But, you know, like money will need to go towards communicating and advocating for people who need abortion. So,
Yeah.
I mean, just pay attention and I I'm loath to say it, but please God, vote. Like people's lives depend on it because they do. Like this isn't the end, and it's not going to stop with banning abortion. It's not going to stop with banning Roe v. Wade. It's gonna if this is setting a precedent for many other things to, you know, be undone.
Yeah.
Like gay marriage and, you know, God, it could even be things that we've just take for granted for so long that we think are the law of the land, like Roe v. Wade always was. And, you know, so just pay attention. And like I said, I'm loath to say it, but please vote.
Yeah.
This for the upcoming elections this November.
Yeah. I mean, there's no need to feel hopeless.
Mm-mm.
And I think, you know, we just have to fight it. Like there's just, it's just going to be a fight. And people were here before. And like, if you really believe that much in it, then you'll fucking fight for it. You know, like this has always been my main kind of like, cause.
Yeah.
I guess just because I feel so strongly in my bones that I never want children, and to have someone force me to do that would be the end of my life in many ways, maybe literally. Like, you know, like not to be so like dark about it, but like I just would never.
Well, and as somebody who has given birth twice and who wanted those pregnancies very much.
Yeah. Making someone go through that who doesn't want it. Oof.
You know, and I had everything at my disposal. It was wanted. It was planned. It was, you know, it went as smoothly as it possibly could. You know, both of my pregnancies, like I was very, very fortunate in that way. Yeah. But yet, even still, it was one of the most traumatic things that I have physically and mentally ever been through in my life.
Yeah.
And even when it's wanted and you know, and desired, it is still so fucked up. And we have sanitized childbirth to the point where it is not even considered something that is dangerous or scary or whatever. It is like considered beautiful and normal and natural. And yes, it is also
can be,
that,
but not for everyone.
But not for everybody. And even like I'm saying, like for me, where it was all good and nothing was traumatic or it's
still a lot.
It still was. It still was. So
yeah.
And I'm much more, even more radical about people having access to abortion than I ever have been before after having children. So
yeah, I think we've said this. Abortion is healthcare. I'm pro-abortion. People say they're pro-choice. Fuck that. I'm so pro-abortion. I don't give a shit. And I was thinking too, I think just the way my brain has changed for the first time in my life, even like I just was thinking abortion is even just healthcare to the point that it is so many things to so many different people. And I realized for the first time, like abortion is even gender affirming care for people in some cases. Like
absolutely.
I don't think I ever thought of it that way. Like in such a holistic picture, like that. And I think it's because we don't talk about it a lot. And it is like, oh, are you pro-choice? And people have to make the decisions that's best for them and their family. And sometimes it is that. And sometimes it's just, I don't want a fucking kid. Like, and that's fine too. Like, it's nobody's business. And it's just healthcare. It's like getting a fucking wart removed off your foot. You know, like, I don't want that there anymore.
Honestly.
And like, if we could, you know, but it's so fucking layered. Oh God. Yeah. We haven't even really talked about this yet, like even offline. And I just have so many thoughts.
I know. I didn't mean to like drop it on
no,
us,
that's
but
okay.
I just needed to say, just to like, if, you know, for people we have to acknowledge it,
Totally.
like,
yeah, I know.
but yeah, I didn't have anything prepared. I just, I just wanted to tell people if you really, felt fucked up about it still.
Fucking reach out to us, dude. I'm
Yeah.
happy to talk about this with anyone who's feeling a way about it, even if you just want to like rant a bit about it. If you want something like you're saying, like, somewhere to donate money or time. I get so many emails from so many different organizations, and people are hosting like day-long like trainings in the next few months. The Abortion Access Front is hosting like an all-day training in July. I just got an email for, and it's to like fucking be little
mobilize
soldiers
and let's go. Yeah.
Let's get out there and let's get in people's faces and protect people who need abortions. Let's find them money if they're in states where they don't have access and they need to travel or whatever. It's like, it's just like this network of people now that are from organizations across so many different states and like backgrounds and all of these things, like grassroots organizations that have always been there that like know what to do, and we need to connect with them and figure out how we can be of service in this way.
Yep. That's right.
And locally how we can be of service. And look, we're like so lucky. The state we live in, we won't have an issue. I don't think, like, we're in a really liberal state, and abortion access, I think, is even, didn't they just pass something where you can get an abortion covered by your insurance?
Yeah, I think in some cases. Yeah. they're trying to pass some more codifying laws and more specific to different circumstances, like, and more blanketed across, like, making it more like healthcare oriented in California. So where it's not just like this, like, random thing that people need to do. It's like, no, this like needs to be part of healthcare. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. This is not shocking. Like, this has been coming for a long time if you've been paying attention like we have, but it's still like a gut punch. And so
it's still surprising. I'm like, it's still, like you were saying, sets the precedent for like other things to be kind of turned back. And that feels so gross and icky because it's like, well, no one wants to go backwards. It's wild to me that anyone even wants to.
I know.
Like, it's already a thing. Just leave it alone. People are happy with it. And it's not the majority. And that's the other thing that really pisses me off. So,
I mean, it's, I think like close to like 80% of, or like more than 70% of the people in the United States are pro-choice. Like, to some degree. Yeah. So, I know. Anyway.
Oh my God. I could just talk about this for
the entire episode. I know.
Not as fun.
But you know what? We're not going to.
No.
We got we're going to switch gears hard now.
Oh my God. It is. Look. This is just how talented we are also, I just should say, because man, how I'm feeling right now, I'm just gonna
channel it.
I'm gonna put like the nugget of it, which is just like fucking anger and wanting to kill people into a little box, and I'm just gonna tie it with a bow. I'm just gonna set it aside.
Yep. I love that. I love that visual.
Yeah. And then all the energy that was circling around that, kind of like, the Scarlet Witch, kind of like this like tornado of like anger and stuff, that's still in there, but that's what I'm gonna channel into what we're talking about today.
Yeah. I love it. All my
power.
I love all these visuals, all these. Yes. It's great. You guys, today we have this topic is a listener suggestion.
Oh my God.
From our darling Angel Brian.
Oh my God. Sweet, sweet Angel. Oh, gives us so much. I hope we give him the same in return.
I hope so too. He sent us a TikTok of somebody talking about one of the most renowned
Composer.
and and prolific composers that's ever lived. Mozart, Wolfgang Amadeus motherfucking Mozart. This TikTok referenced a lesser known fact about him that suggested that maybe he was into scat play.
It's suggested that maybe he was into the doo-doo.
Yeah. Now, we're seeking to answer this question, the question of the day, which is, did Mozart really have a scat fetish?
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
I was intrigued, and I knew we had to do an entire episode on this the moment it was even a little
yeah, a whisper
in my ear, you know?
The moment it was just like a little flute concerto in your ear, in your heart.
Yeah. Yep.
I was not as on board until I looked up if this is a thing, and then I was like, oh fuck, it's a thing.
Yeah.
And then I was.
So if you're not familiar, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, one of the greatest composers of all time. He was born January of the year 1756, and he died December 5th, 1791. He was very young. He was only 35 years old when he passed away.
Both years of our Lord. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was prolific and incredibly influential during the classical period. He, like I said, died when he was only 35, but up until then, he had composed close to 800 works in virtually every genre of his time. So that's, that's
like three genres.
Oh, it's more
classical, neoclassical, and no, I'm just kidding.
He started composing when he was like 4 or 5. So like, that's crazy. Like, I'm thinking about Jack, like, composing a piece of music. Like, what the fuck, you know?
Oh my God. Yeah. He would already have had to make some.
Yeah. He was, like either 4 or 5 when he composed his first piece of music. He was like a child prodigy, could play multiple instruments. His father was a composer. So he that was part of his life since he was like a baby. So he was, but beyond that, he was a genius. He was a complete savant with this, especially on the piano and violin. And, he could just do it all. And I'm trying to think of a modern day comparison, and I can't.
Of like someone who's made so many songs.
Yeah. Okay. But it's also like crossed over to different genres, Oh,
yeah. Okay. I was going to say Timbaland. I just feel like that guy's been everywhere. And he's on so many hit songs. But a crossover artist.
It'd be like how the Rolling Stones have done like blues and, good old rock and roll, and they've done like some,
I know. Yeah.
disco-y hits, like that's like sort of, and they've been around forever, but that's because they've been around forever. And this man was only on this earth for 35 years, and he, like, the music that anytime you hear a piece of classical music, 9 times out of 10, it's like a piece of music by Mozart, because his shit is so famous and prolific
and like ethereal and like light and fun. Beethoven's like dark and shit.
Yeah, Beethoven's like heavier, but still, it's like intense. It's like he's more goth,
Yeah, Beethoven's more goth for sure. He's edgier.
Yeah.
What about like someone like, I know she's probably close to 35 now, but like Taylor Swift. Who's like crossed over, because she was a child when she was young. She did country first, and then since then she's been in multiple genres. They're all like closely related, but
it's pop. It's
pop. Yeah. But it's like country pop, folk pop, pop.
I'm the only real comparison I can think of is like, I don't know. I like Dolly Parton or something.
That's kind of who I was thinking of earlier. Yeah.
But even still, like it's like
yeah, it's not the same. I mean, he was working so hard.
Yeah, he would sit down and he would write like so when I say genres of his time, he composed symphonies, concertos, chamber music, operas, and choral repertoire. So these are like all different these are all so different.
Okay.
And so he was basically he was the GOAT of his time, and still, I don't know, probably is.
Yeah.
He's among the greatest composers in the history of Western music, with music admired for its, quote, melodic beauty, its formal elegance, and its richness of harmony and texture.
Yes.
So I grew up listening to a ton of classical music when I was a kid. My mom always made us listen to it while we were doing homework. If you have not done this, let me give you a hot tip.
Yeah.
Put on some classical music while you're working.
Yeah.
Like if you have to do a stretch of like, you know, deep shit, like
deep focus.
Deep focus.
Yeah.
Put some classical music on. I promise your brain will switch gears, and it's almost like taking, like, I don't know, like fucking ADHD medication. I'm like not kidding. Like for me, like this is what it is.
Yeah.
So, my mom always made us listen to tons and tons of classical music growing up. My personal favorite was Tchaikovsky. Like that shit was banger after banger. Like 1812 Overture. What do you want to know? Like. That shit was like EDM music for its time. Like a beat is literally dropping. It's so good. So good.
No.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to listen to it. I don't know. I'm not familiar with his work.
Oh, you
will
be.
I'm sure I've heard it. Yeah.
He did Swan Lake, also just banger. And the Nutcracker.
The drama. Love it.
So
so that I didn't even know that. I love Tchaikovsky.
Yeah, so he's a Russian composer. So he even admired and was influenced by Mozart. That's how like, you know, well respected Mozart was for his time, because he's like a Western composer. Tchaikovsky was Eastern, you know. So even Beethoven, who is 15 years younger than Mozart, was influenced by him. He might have like done some work with him, but it's not verified. But he was like around in the circles that Mozart was in his time.
Of course. So yeah, because all the best are gonna
hang out.
Gonna know of each other. It's like remember when Mariah Carey said, "I don't know her." Mm-hmm. Who is she talking about? J-Lo?
I don't know.
Oh well, it's like she was lying anyway.
Yeah,
that's the joke of it.
She wrote a whole fucking song about Eminem being obsessed with her. So
like we know you know.
Yeah,
it's just like Beethoven. We know you know.
Yeah, no, Beethoven was like loved Mozart. Like he was like obsessed, and you know, not obsessed, not in the Eminem way, but you know what I mean.
Why are you so obsessed with me? Boy, I wanna know. I'm playing the flute.
Bitch, come on, man.
Oh my god, what an idiot! Cancel me.
No, you're not canceled. But no. I'm just saying, Mozart, the shit. I love him. Yeah. And I love him even more now that I know this shit that we're about to talk about. I walked down the aisle to the clarinet concerto in A major. So I fucking love Mozart. And this has made me absolutely stand forever Mozart. So did he have a scat fetish? Did he?
Are we answering now or at the end?
We're answering now.
Oh. No.
Not really.
I don't think so.
What it is that
not
he
how
just
we would think of a scat fetish today, which is shit on my chest, like, and fucking it or whatever.
Yeah, like literally, like, I mean, maybe he liked to do butt stuff, but that's not the same thing.
That's not the same thing.
Not the same thing. But play around and with, like
the shit.
A duty bubble or something. I don't know. That was, he would talk about it, but he wouldn't. I don't think he was actively doing it.
Yeah, it's hard to say with the evidence we have.
But no, I don't think that we're going to get into the evidence, but my conclusion is definitely not. He just loved toilet humor, just like us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stars, they're just like us.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It makes me like him so much. And I didn't really think about him in general. And now I'm like, I'll think about him more because I think he was funny.
Yeah, he was fucking funny. But unfortunately, at the time, and even after he was dead and gone for many, many, many years, people have clutched their pearls about the idea that he was like, that was his humor. That was his sense of humor was scatological. So he had written many letters to his family, and familial correspondence back and forth referenced tons and tons of poop jokes. All like him, his wife, his cousin, his dad, his mom, his sister, like all these letters back and forth. It's like, like text messages back and forth with like your brother or your,
it's like a family group text or whatever, and it's like everyone's sense of humor is exactly the same, and you all get the jokes, and like maybe there's some outliers, but for the most part you know exactly what to say to make everyone in your family laugh. Exactly, because you all have a shared brand. This was my family's brand growing up. Shit,
same,
poops and farts.
Same.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, and butts. Not really dicks or vaginas. Just butts and poops and stuff and farts mostly.
Yeah. Totally. Same in our family.
And I see it as a sign of intelligence.
I mean, obviously, like if Mozart was into it, was writing fucking like symphonies when he was 5 years old, like this justifies all of my feelings about potty humor. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read you an example of a portion of a letter he wrote to his cousin in 1777.
Okay.
Maria Anna Mozart was his cousin. Okay. And he wrote, "Well, I wish you good night. But first, shit in your bed and make it burst. Sleep soundly, my love. Into your mouth your arse you'll shove." Now, these certain phrases were phrases that were like reiterated over and over in letters, which makes me think it was a family joke. And when it's said in German, it's like it all rhymes, and it's like the cadence is like funny, and so.
And the phrasing is maybe doesn't translate exactly how it does to them, and like the joke that is in it so much, but like. Shit in your bed and make it burst. I mean, come on. That's a fucking shart if I ever heard one.
Yeah. Exactly.
What? Oh my God. They just didn't have the language for it yet.
Or maybe that was what the language was in German, like.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like whatever the translation is in German. Like
shart sounds like a German name or word.
Or word, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Ein Shart. Like, yeah, it's German for sure. Oh my God.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean,
it could be. Oh my God.
Yeah. So he wrote tons of letters to his cousin and other members of his family, like referencing, poop and butts and stuff. And there's even evidence of like his mom and dad talking like this to each other.
Yeah.
Like his mom wrote a letter to his father before they were married, which is like it rhymes and then it references the same kind of phrases that he had written to his cousin.
Yeah, the shit bubble.
Yeah, she said, "Adido ben mio, Keep well, my love. Into your mouth, your arse you'll shove. I wish you good night, my dear. But first, shit in your bed and make it burst. Like,
it's almost
this is
the same.
I think it's a family motto. I think this might be.
It's their crest.
It's on their crest.
The motto on their crest. The Mozshart family. Shit in your mouth. Or put your mouth to your arse.
yeah, basically. So people.
Oh my God.
So people have gotten really uptight, like learning about all this and not wanting it to be part of his legacy, basically.
Yeah.
So it'd be like if in 200 years, some historians who are total prudes and hate people talking about poop and farts and whatever listened to our podcast and concluded that we were into scat play and have Bigfoot dildos or whatever, just simply because we joke about buttholes and cryptid dicks on our podcast. You know, like that's the legacy. Like people are afraid that it would be associated. It's like,
well, now
no,
I'm terrified.
Well, you should be.
People might already think that. Who's to say I don't have a Bigfoot dildo?
That'd be tight.
I mean, and who's to say, that's not a cool thing? But yeah, it is kind of scary. Like the way we're talking about it, these are just funny inside jokes with his family and friends or whatever. And like, and now people are like, he was, fucking in the shit and blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, I think he was just telling fart jokes.
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, it's so, I don't know.
Did you see anything about how like the letters with the cousin were also like maybe sexual? Like I saw from multiple sources, which were like mostly YouTube videos and TikToks. But people kept claiming that the letters between him and his cousin were like sexual.
I mean, maybe like
and
fucking
that's why
cousins
it was
back
inferred.
then.
Yeah. I mean, kissing cousins, that was happening up until the 1950s when Elvis sang about it. And then people were like, maybe this is weird.
Yeah. I mean, people still do it.
Ooh, people still do it.
Yeah. It was just, things were just very, very different back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is, I think this is where some wires are getting crossed because there is a kind of like flirty sexual innuendo in some of the letters.
Yeah.
And then they talk about poop also with each other. So
they could be separate things though. It doesn't mean they're related.
Right.
I mean, they could
just
be,
like
but
cousins.
They also don't have to be.
Just like cousins.
Oh my God.
Related but separate things.
Related but separate.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so yeah, I think it kind of sounds more like normal cousin stuff, but then there was an interview. I forgot I saw this. Okay. There was an interview in something called Mel Magazine with this guy, Ed Gehring. He's the VP of the Mozart Society of America. And he was asked whether this was Mozart simply being funny or something hinting at a more complicated relationship, like all the letters with this particular cousin. And he's quoted as saying, I don't know a whole lot about his relationship with his cousin, but yes, I think there was more sexual innuendo here. And apparently, this man goes on to say, like, we'll never really fully understand, or like at least we don't right now, because they had such a shorthand in their like shit humor and like familial vibe or whatever, that they started to develop like their own language.
Yeah, it's like they have context outside of letters that like we don't know about because they like talked and were family and like, again, inside jokes that like nobody could possibly have any knowledge or context to. So
it's like, how twins develop their own language. It's like, but this was cousin horny shit language.
Well, I could like say a word to you and you would know what I'm talking about that references like a decade of jokes that we've made. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I know. Yeah, you could just go chocolate and I would go, because I know exactly what you're talking about.
Or I could hum Funky Cold Medina and you would know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, you know, come on. Nobody knows what that is.
No, but one person on this one other person, our friend Jessie, knows what that is. And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. But nobody else knows that's listening to this. And they're like, what the fuck are these bitches talking about? You know? So, so yeah.
Oh my God. Also, okay, I do want to say, you already mentioned that Mozart was 35 when he died, and he was a child prodigy. I think the context of that is like missing for people too. It's like you expect this young man who I like, this is just the humor of young people is to laugh about farts and poop. Like this, it just, and adults, you know, but like especially young boys, you know, I feel like that's like the vibe. And so of course he still was interested in that stuff, even though he was this accomplished or would be an accomplished like composer that's known centuries later. Like, of course, he's still gonna make fart jokes. And
I think too, because of how he grew up, like he was like literally famous when he was like a child star. And so he got away with a lot of shit his entire life because of how talented he was. You know what I mean? Where it was like he had that like stage kid kind of, like he was constantly
surrounded by yes men probably too. It's like everyone's like just like letting him do whatever he wants or what, you know, he just is like getting to be
and he was like, you know, pretty independently wealthy for most of his life too. So, and you know, in the favor of royalty. So he could just do and say whatever the fuck he wanted for most of his life. So that's another thing. So not only was Mozart and his family lovers of potty humor and letters to each other, Mozart thought it would be funny to also make whole ass musical compositions about poop and butts. So,
and it was.
He literally wrote songs about poop. And his scatological music was most likely like just for shits and giggles. Just fun stuff that was only shared amongst his like close group of drunk ass friends.
Yeah.
You know how you just like make up weird shit with your friends when you're all drunk? Like, it's again all
Funky
inside
Cold
jokes.
Medina.
Yeah. And basically these poop songs, they take the form of canons, which is like where it goes in rounds, where one person sings a line and then it repeats itself and another person sings a line. It's a voice enters with the same words in music following a delay after the previous voice. Musicologist David J. Book writes, "It may seem strange that Mozart made fair copies, entered these items into his personal works catalog, in which he tended to omit ephemeral works, and allowed them to be copied. The reason he favored these small and crude pieces in ways similar to his more serious and important works remains a mystery." It's not
a mystery.
It's he fucking loved this shit. He thought
it was
talking.
So funny.
Yeah, he was like, I cannot let this hilarious joke go to waste. You know what I mean? These are jokes. Like this is a recording of a good night with his friends, you know? Like,
and it's a joke that gets replayed for him every time someone performs this piece of music. Like,
dude, Mozart would be a fucking huge TikToker today.
Oh my God. The biggest.
He just making, like, he would be fucking making so much content.
Yeah.
It would be prolific. Just
everyone's
like all of his
duetting him
music.
Everywhere, using his sounds, stitching his vids. Like, people are remixing it, making up little dances to it, and it's just like fucking songs about doo-doo.
It's exactly that.
Yeah.
It's exactly like when, you know, like Megan Thee Stallion has a new song and like
From
people
Coachella?
do dance. Yeah, and people do dances on TikTok to it.
Yeah.
And she fucking loves that. Or like Lizzo, like she watches people on TikTok do, you know, fun ass dances to their music. Like, this is like, to him, this is what it was. It's just, it's that. I don't know. Like, not saying that like their music is on the like level of,
maybe
I don't know
it
what
is. We're not hundreds of years into the future, but Lizzo's music might stand.
No, I'm not. I'm saying like it's not on the poop level. Yeah. Like it's
their
better
music
than
isn't a joke. Like it's
their music isn't a joke. No, it's like. But you know what? I'm just saying like that's what it is to him. Is he wants it to be in this catalog of his like best work, because to him it is some of his best work. You know?
Also, who's to say that his music was a joke? I mean, it was, and he thought it was funny, but it could have been. It too could have been like for young people, because all music at this time was about like God and heaven and like death, and it was really heavy and biblical. People weren't really making music.
Well, sometimes it's like party music.
Sometimes, yeah. But then, I mean, the brief was still, you know, like influenced by like what people were into, which was like the Bible. You know, it's like, but he was like, oh, let me make this music about lighthearted, like fun stuff. Like that could have been, this could have been pop music for him, you know?
Sure. And it just like represents a duality of a human being. Like
yeah.
Somebody who can make these like insanely complex symphonies, also love to make songs about shitting in somebody's mouth. Like, I fucking love it. I love it so much. It's so great. So he has, for example, Mozart has a canon called Lich mich im Arsch, which is basically lick my ass. It includes the lyrics Lich mich im Arsch Gershwin, which would be translated into English as lick me in the ass quickly. Lick mich im Arsch is a standard vulgarism in German, euphemistically called the Swabian salute, I guess. Although contemporary German would rather say lick mich am Arsch. The closest English counterpart is kiss my ass, basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So people were so embarrassed by Mozart's poop-laden canons when they were first published after his death. Like, people knew they existed, but they weren't fully published. But after he died, they were. The canons were bowdlerized, which is a form of censorship that involves purging anything deemed noxious or offensive from an artistic work or other type of writing or media.
Boo.
Like this has happened like to many books. It happened to Shakespeare. It happened, you know, to all kinds of authors over the years. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, for example, Lick mir den Arsch fein rein, lick me in the ass nice and clean was what that translates to. Became nicht labt mich mehr als Wein, which translates to nothing refreshes me more than wine. So instead of lick me in the ass nice and clean, it became nothing refreshes me more than wine, because like it
rhymes in German.
It rhymes in German. Yeah.
Like the cadence or whatever is the same.
It's like how it's like trying to make a kids bop of badass pussy.
Oh my god. They kids bopped it.
Yeah, the kids bopped it.
I hate, except it's about wine, and I actually don't mind those lyrics. They're both a fun song. Both songs are a fun song, depending on what time you're looking to have. But also, like, okay, I don't understand where you get scat play from all of this. If anything, he's into, like, fucking analingus, which is not scat play. Again,
it's
different.
It's different. And if he was into eating ass, like, hell yeah, that's like...
He's so 2022.
Yeah, Gen Z loves it.
He's going to be the Gen Z's. He's going to be on fucking T-shirts and shit now with like, lick mine
ass man.
Arsh. Arshman.
Arshman.
Okay, so all of this is documented, but obviously we didn't know anything about this before seeing this TikTok.
Everybody's embarrassed.
Everybody's embarrassed. Like you said, you know, his music was kind of like whitewashed to not be about doo-doo jokes. And that's because, like, you know, similar to what you were saying, early historians, when they were writing about Mozart's life and kind of cataloging everything in biographies and books about him, they just didn't include any of this information. They were just a bunch of prudes, didn't like fart joke, probably were very boring at parties, someone I wouldn't want to be friends with. And even when these little facts started to bubble up again, and you know, people were kind of bringing this idea back around into biographies or what have you, other people poo-pooed it, pun intended. So, for example, it's alleged that former Prime Minister of England, Margaret Thatcher, gave Sir Peter Hall, who at the time was the head of the National Theatre, she gave him some pushback when she went to see his 1979 staged production of Amadeus.
This is the funniest anecdote to me. Oh my God.
Oh my God. It's wild. Okay. This is what she's quoted as saying after seeing this production. I think it is disgraceful that the National Theatre shows Mozart uttering such obscenities, Mr. Hall. She didn't even call him Sir Hall, which he has a knighthood. She just like fucking ignored it. She was being a bitch. And she says a composer of such elegant and wonderful called him a composer of such elegant and wonderful music. Like, why would you have him uttering obscenities on stage? This character that was so prolific and such a wonderful composer. And he said, but Prime Minister, it is actual fact that he did talk like that. He used 4-letter words. And she was like, it is not possible, not from someone who could create such works of beauty.
Yeah. And then he goes on, there's more to the story too.
Oh my God.
He said, quote, she was not pleased. In her best headmistress style, she gave me a severe wigging for putting on a play that depicted Mozart as a scatological imp with a love for 4-letter words. It was inconceivable, she said, that a man who wrote such exquisite and elegant music could be so foul-mouthed. I said that Mozart's letter proved he was just that. He had an extraordinarily infantile sense of humor. And she said, I don't think you heard what I said.
Oh.
He couldn't have been like that. And then he offered and sent a copy of Mozart's letters to number 10 the next day. I was even thanked by the appropriate private secretary, but it was useless. The Prime Minister said I was wrong, so wrong I was.
OMG.
What a dumb fucking asshole Margaret Thatcher was. What a fucking prude ass bitch, conservative, uptight, fucking stick in the ass, fucking asshole. I'm gonna call her every single butt related insult.
She's not even a duty bubble. She's like a popped duty bubble.
Make it burst.
Yeah. She never even fully formed. She's she's just like fucking anal leakage.
Dingleberry. Oh. She sucked. She sucked then. She sucks now.
Yeah.
We don't like her.
We hate her.
But this is where it gets interesting to me. So Margaret Thatcher aside, and all these historians who are just so uptight about it and not referencing it. It was, I think poop jokes have always been a part of German culture.
Yes.
So it's literally been referenced in folklore forever, German folklore forever.
Does this this should be blowing people's minds because Germans are thought of as being very serious and not funny.
That's not true. Germans are hilarious.
Germans are hilarious. They're very dry.
They're just dry and intense,
and frank. Yeah.
But also the sweetest, nicest.
Oh my God.
You know.
But it's just how do we have this? Well, maybe I know why. But it's why do we have this view of Germans not being funny and being super serious and not telling fart jokes?
I think World War II ruined
that's
a lot of.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, now we can say we know they've always told a good fart joke.
Yeah. Okay. Like it's been part of a German like sensibility and sense of humor for a long time. The folklorist and cultural anthropologist Alan Dundes, I don't know. Dundies. Alan suggested that interest in or tolerance for scatological matters is a specific trait of German national culture, one which is retained to this day. In German folklore, one finds in this is what Alan says.
Okay,
in German folklore, one finds an inordinate number of texts concerned with anality. Anality is such a funny word. I've never used that word in my life, and I think I'm going to start.
Category is extravaganality.
Anality. Scheiße means shit. Yep. Dreck means dirt. Mist means manure. Arsch means ass. And other locutions are commonplace. Folk songs, folk tales, proverbs, folk speech all attest to the Germans' long-standing special interest in this area of human activity. I am not claiming that other peoples of the world do not express a healthy concern for this area, but rather that the Germans appear to be preoccupied with such themes. It is thus not so much a matter of difference as it is of degree.
OMG.
So he goes on to say, there's tons of scatological humor in Mozart, but also cites scatological texts from Martin Luther, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, Heinrich Heine, and others who helped shape German culture. Another anthropologist asserts that, quote, scatology was common in Middle Europa, which is Central Europe, noting, for instance, that Mozart's Salzburg colleague Michael Haydn also wrote a scatological canon. There was other people writing like poop songs, like it's fine. Yeah, everybody chill the fuck out. Like poop jokes have always existed, and they have always been funny, and they always will be. Okay,
never not funny.
So it's so funny. It is really funny how people just think like certain types of humor, certain types of people just never existed.
I mean, if this isn't the perfect example of people always thinking fart jokes are funny, even like, I mean, there were fart jokes that have been documented from like Jesus
Mesopotamia.
Time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Also, keep in mind too, like we've lost a lot of like historical context that just doesn't translate over millennia too. So like,
true.
You know, what was funny to Romans, you know, probably is funny now. We just need to have the inside track on like how culture and life and day-to-day activities worked. Yeah. And we do kind of, but not really. So and it's the same thing in Mozart's case. Like you have to take all these things into account. And like a lot of historians want to try to diagnose him with like saying he had
Tourette's and shit. It's like
shit. And it's like, first of all, diagnosing anybody like from, you know, a distance
from literal hundreds of years
is like super unethical and dumb. But also it's just like, why can't you accept that somebody liked to talk about poop? It's okay. All right, chill the fuck out, unclench your butthole, and let's just laugh about it. Okay, it's funny. It's
like, I wonder what the current day equivalent is. Like, I wonder if, like, you know, there's all these people that think whoever, like, is so esteemed or whatever. Like
Barack Obama.
Yeah, Barack Obama. You don't think he's ever laughed at a fart joke? You don't think someone's ever stepped in shit, got into his car, and then he's like, oh my God, did you fart or whatever? And they're like, no, it's not me. He's like, you shit your pants or whatever. And then he's like laughing and they're like, no, I didn't. And then.
Yeah. Like Totally.
No, it's funny. Like, yeah, it's so wild to me. I mean, I feel like there's such a small percentage of people on this planet that just don't have a sense of humor. But, like, we don't know who they are because they're just, we do. It's Mitch McConnell and all the evil dark lords.
And it's the people that are just like so uptight about it that like will probably end up shitting themselves on national TV. That's what I could hope for. You know what I mean?
God.
Like
we can only hope.
We can only hope. But again, like so many people were influenced by him. And he's still the GOAT in my personal opinion. Love you, Mozart. We stand.
Lick mine Arsch.
Lick mine Arsch. Kiss my ass, bitch.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, that's pretty much it.
I love it.
He wasn't into scat play, you guys. He just liked poop jokes a lot. And
oh my God,
who amongst us doesn't?
How did we not call him Mozshart?
Ah! Damn it.
I failed.
Well,
we got it at the end.
Maybe that could be the title.
Yeah, Mozshart.
Mozshart.
Yeah.
Clarinet. Confarcho. I don't know.
Confarcho. Everything's just shart for me. Yeah. Confarcho.
There we go.
There we go.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Go listen to some Mozart while you're like studying or doing some work or just like cleaning the house. It's great. Yeah. It's really great. So many bangers.
With jazz, like a nice, not like the frantic jazz, but I like to put, because you're right. There's like certain types of music that just help your brain like
unlock and just focus.
Like click in. Yeah.
And for me, it's that. And when I want to get turned and I want to start a revolution and donate to abortion access funds, I put on some Tchaikovsky and get wild. Okay.
Oh my God.
Tchaikovsky.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Go follow us on social media.
DTFU podcast. And on all the places, TikTok and Instagram, not really Twitter, but that's going to be a dumpster fire soon anyway. Share an episode with a friend.
Yeah. Like pick your favorite thing.
Yeah.
That you think somebody would like.
Or just tell someone about our podcast.
Yeah. Just let them know.
Just let them know.
Maybe give us a 5-star review if you're so inclined.
Oh, yeah. We just got a new one. It was very nice.
Oh, I haven't read it.
Oh my God. It was really nice. What else? I guess that's it for now.
Yeah, that's it. If you want to watch this, it's on YouTube.
Yep.
And also on Spotify. You can just open the Spotify app and you can literally click on any episode. Well, almost any. When we started recording it. New episodes.
New episodes as of since March.
Yeah. We also have video. So
yeah.
And it's like not everybody has that on Spotify, just us.
No, they do now, I think.
Oh well.
But still, we're fucking first, so
we're first.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So do all those things and just listen here. Stay excellent to yourselves
and each other. Bye.
Bye.